Matt, this isn't your first rodeo playing in a conference tournament, but it is your first in the West Coast Conference tournament. What are you expecting?
The same you always expect in a conference tournament. Coach Pope actually said it in practice today. If you expect to go in there and see the exact same type of games you play in a conference, you're just completely wrong. There's always an additional level of intensity in the conference tournament because teams are playing for their lives. I would say probably 8 out of 10 teams in this conference are actually playing for their life right now. Like if they don't win this tournament, they're not going to the NCAA tournament the way it's looking, the way the projections are looking. So these teams are just playing for their lives right now. So we can't get complacent just because we've been in some bracket predictions. We can't get complacent. We just got to come in there with an intensity and a physicality that we've had to close the year out.
What are your thoughts on having that double bye and having a team potentially play one, maybe two games before you actually take the floor against them?
You can frame it both ways. You can frame it negatively and positively. You can say, oh, they already have 2 games in their legs, they're tired. Or you can say, oh, they've already played on this floor. There's advantages and disadvantages, but I know we're going to be ready. We're going to have a shoot around on Monday. We're going to get familiar with the gym as we always do. So, like I said, you can frame it either way, but we're going to be ready for, regardless of how many games. If they play 10 games in 10 days, we don't care. We're going to be ready for our opponent. We're not going to underestimate them.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Matt, how have practice been this week? And would you like another matchup with Pepperdine if it works out that way?
Practice this week has been solid. It's weird because we don't really have an opponent to focus in on, of course. So we're just kind of focusing on us, which I do appreciate those practices. It's very nice to just be able to get better, focusing on your own things, like what we can get better at, rather than how do we stop this specific opponent. Because the things we're working on now are going to work against everyone. Just playing harder. Our 3 keys: communication, physicality, and protecting the ball. Those things are always going to be carrying over into whatever game we play. And then potential matchup against Pepperdine. I really don't care who we play. We're not scared of any team. We want, hey, we lost to Pepperdine once. We're going to be coming into that game. We know their capabilities, but we know that of every single team in this conference. We know that every single team in the conference that's still in this tournament is capable. We went to the end, all the way in a tight game with San Francisco, who just played on the first day. So we know that every single team in this conference is dangerous. So it doesn't matter to me what team we play, but we know that every single team is capable.
All right, let's hear from Sean and Mitch.
Yeah, Matt, this actually kind of leads into what I was thinking about, because this season's been so helter-skelter, where you guys have had sort of stretches where you're playing 3 games in 9 days, and then you're off for a week, maybe because of cancellations and whatever. Did having that sort of a helter-skelter schedule maybe help you with this, what in a normal year would be a pretty rare week-long layoff heading into the conference semifinals?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it that way. But not the way that you say it, it sounds very good. We've had these breaks, so we're used to it. We know what to do with this time. Sometimes, when you have this long of a break, you can lose focus. But since we've had a couple of these, at this point, we've had a few breaks, probably 3 or 4, where we're just looking for a game to play. We're used to it. We know what we need to be working on, and we're just fully focusing on us. We're not going to focus on a game that's 2 weeks away. We're just going to focus on us getting better on the thing and having our own personal keys to work on, rather than a game plan for another team. So we've been really productively using this time, and I think you're right. I think these previous breaks that we've had, these COVID-induced breaks, because cancellations have kind of helped us making use of that time in a productive way, because we all know that we've gotten better during those previous breaks. So this week, we're just using it to get better.
Matt, what extra precautions, if any, have you guys taken, knowing that it's tournament season, it's March, you want to make sure to stay as healthy as you can to play in this tournament, and then obviously the big dance as well?
Right. We've just been doing what we have been doing all year. We've been pretty successful at it so far, of course. Hopefully it stays that way. But everyone's been doing their best, and I think that's just because everyone on this team knows how important it is to every one of us. Every single player doesn't just do it for themselves. Even if guys that don't play, they don't just go home and say, oh, I'm not going to go anywhere just for myself. I'm going to do it for every single person on this team. That really matters. So I think guys have done a great job of just staying masked up, staying indoors. So I'm really proud of those guys for that. We're taking some extra precautions, of course, this week. Just making sure, hey, don't go anywhere. Just go from your house, your apartment to the annex, and then come back. That's kind of been the game plan.